Today's video is brought to you by Very Good. Check out the color grades I'm using on my photos at shotverygood.com. What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. I am in Northern California, real Northern California, Humboldt County right now, driving through the Avenue of the Giants. We are on our way to Eureka for the night. No reason, just photography. That's a good enough reason, right? I think so. It's a great reason. I'm saying goodbye soon to this Nikon Zf because Nikon wants it back, which is sad because I've really enjoyed this camera. So I thought it would be fun to take it on one last hurrah before I go out and buy my own. This is the one Nikon loaned me. If you want to watch the first impression video I did, I'm going to link it above right here. I would call this camera new vintage. Neo retro. Jason, everybody, that's the right phrase. Retro camera here. I put Portra 800 in it because I was like, oh, it's going to be dark in the Avenue of the Giants. And nothing we've done today has been dark. Maybe tomorrow, but I'm still shooting on it. We're going to keep on continuing on our journey here towards Eureka, through all these little towns, all the little things we can find along the way. This is an old road trip road. You know, people used to drive up here, family vacations, a good old-fashioned American road trip. Today, it's kind of fell on some hard times, and so a lot of businesses are closed, a lot of things have been left behind, which is perfect for photography. So we've got the Neo retro camera. We've got the retro camera. What's so cool about this one is like, it is retro because it is retro. This camera's from 1983. It's as old as I am, which is really a fun connection to this camera. And with these cameras in hand, we're chasing old America, old Americana, and we're chasing nostalgia. So Jason and I got onto the Avenue of the Giants, and this is just an incredible road. It goes on maybe like if you're just driving straight for probably about an hour and a half. It just winds through the Redwoods, and like the Redwoods are literally right on the road. Along the way are all of these small towns, and as you come into these towns, you see things like hotels from a different generation that are now no longer in existence. You have resorts and like summer camps. You've got restaurants and bars, gas stations, and like just a life that once was, it really is no more. And sure, people live up here. These towns are still very much like alive and there's activity there. But I think their heyday was probably like in the 70s and 80s and not so much like today. And when you couple that just with like the beauty of where you are, the river, the redwoods, the landscape, there's like an endless amount of photography up here. Now, I mentioned for me, I love to just like chase nostalgia. I think that's something a lot of photographers have in common. There are these 3 R's: rust, rot, and ruin. And I love photographing all 3 of those things. I really feel like the past makes a compelling subject because ordinary things become a story. Like, I don't know how everything I'm looking at ended up in the state that it's in today. I don't know what year these things closed or who the last person to walk out the door was or what the last day of the business being open looked like. Like, what was the last drink served at the bar? Who parked this truck there and just walked away from it? Who was the last camper to stay in this summer camp? So what we end up doing as we're exploring areas like this and we're like taking in what we're seeing and we're composing and photographing in our minds, I think we're kind of like filling in the blanks or at least acknowledging that there's a story here that we are just never going to know. So all we can really walk away with is our interpretation of the result of that story. It's like photographing the end scene. And everything that came before it is a mystery. So we just photograph the moment in front of us, which is the present, which is the reality, knowing fully well that there is a story here that we just don't know. We just have the end result. And that's something I really love about photographing places like this, is just capturing the end result of that story. When we got to Eureka, we actually went out on the coast and went on this like strip to this little town called Samoa. And we saw on Google Maps that there was this airstrip out there at the end of the island. So we thought, you know, let's drive out there and see what kind of activity or like what kind of abandoned stuff we can find out on the airport. When we got out there, we actually found a racetrack where people would drag race, and I think there still is some activity happening out here. There were people camping out here, and there were some cool cars out there, so we know that there's at least something going on out here. But you could definitely tell that this place had a really cool period in the past, and today, maybe not so much. But while we were photographing the racetrack, we saw a plane begin to descend and land on the airstrip. And look, this isn't some like airport with a tower and communication. This is just an airstrip. So this plane landed, and a few minutes later, a second one, and then a few minutes later, a third one. Now, it turns out these guys are all friends and they're traveling down the coast together, and they just saw a strip, so they decided to land and take a break. So we circled up with these guys, we got to hear about what they were doing and look at their planes a little closer, get some photos of them and their planes. It was a really cool moment. But what got really fun was whenever they were ready to take back off, after 15 minutes or so, and they said that they should do an equipment inspection on the racetrack. So as they were taking back off and getting back into the sky, Jason and I ran over to the racetrack for that equipment inspection. The one I got has you in it, and it is unreal. So the next morning, we got up pretty early and got back into the Avenue of the Giants. It's right outside of Eureka, so it's super close there. And the goal wasn't to get like some epic golden hour. That's really not gonna exist in a place like this. Most mornings in this area are cloudy, overcast, diffuse light. And even if there was golden light, it's really not breaking through that dark forest. But what I was really hoping to do was to get some nice shots of the Avenue of the Giants and the Redwoods and some of the forest scenes without any cars passing by, without any people there, in that soft, diffuse light. So I want to talk for a minute about the cameras I'm using a little more. By every definition, I have better cameras than this. I have better sensors, I have better autofocus, I have cameras that just do everything this camera does better, but yet I'm really drawn to this camera. So as I thought about this, it just really dawned on me why I love this camera. It is 100% the aesthetic of it. When I look down, I like what I see. When I've got the camera in my hand or whenever I just have it like with me in my bag, I like the way it looks. I know that's really superficial, but it's the honest to God truth. And part of me almost feels like a little insecure about that, like just owning that feels like a cop-out on this channel because I'm not choosing this camera because of any of its tech. It's 100% because I like the way it looks and I like the way I use it. But in the exact same way, I like my favorite jacket. I like the clothes that I have. I intentionally wear what I wear. I style myself the way I style myself. I carry a certain knife because I like the way it looks and how it interacts. And I carry a phone based upon its color and combo scheme. And the most important camera that I have for me and for the work I do is a Leica Safari, which is 100% because of the aesthetic. And why I love this Nikon? It's because of the aesthetic. And I'm just going to own it to you right now. I love this camera because I love the way it looks. Now at this point, you've obviously been seeing a lot of the photos I got on this trip, whether they were from the digital or from the film, but I do want to take a minute and talk about the way these photos feel to me. One of the reasons why I shot RAW on this trip was because I planned to shoot film alongside of it and create a cohesive gallery. And for that reason, I'm using these RAW files with color grades from Very Good. You can check out the link below to see what I'm talking about, but the Portra 400 preset is the base for every photo that I do. You can look on my Instagram, wherever I go, that's always my base in daylight. And that preset allows the digital files and the film files to kind of sit together with some cohesion in a gallery. And that's really important to me because I want to go out and have the experience of using either one of these cameras, but I want the photos that I present to feel the same. And when I look at the photos I got on this trip, they all just feel really nostalgic. And it's not because of the film and it's not because of the color grades. They feel nostalgic because they are nostalgic. All of the subjects are things that have been lost to time. It's easy to try to manufacture nostalgia by thinking if I shoot an old camera and I put film in it, oh my gosh, everything now is the 80s and 90s. No. What makes a photo nostalgic is the subject being nostalgic itself. And as I look at photos from either the film camera or the digital camera, they both have a sense of nostalgia to me. One of the places that we photographed is called Bishop Pine Lodge. Well, like 5 years ago, I was up here and I just had the Fuji X100V with me. And I got some photos of that same lodge 5 years ago. And I got some photos on these cameras today. And guess what? It looks kind of the same. So I can show you 3 different cameras with 3 different looks, but because the subject is the same, the photos kind of feel the same. And that's one thing I just love and appreciate about photographing subjects like this. I'll stand by this forever, that good photography is dependent on the subject and not so much the gear. But man, the gear, it can be really fun to use. So as we were working our way out of the Avenue of the Giants, Jason thought we should go do a side quest. So we hopped on Highway 1 and we started heading out towards the coast, and then Jason's like, turn here. And it was this dirt road that was just wide enough for my Bronco, but we took this dirt road for a good 30, 45 minutes over the mountains, winding the whole time. The dirt road over the mountain was pretty intense, but the photography opportunities as we were coming out towards the coast were just awesome. And then we drove down and out onto the beach, and of course there are people out there enjoying their summer, they're camping, they're with their families, they're just taking it all in. It's one of these beautiful California spots. We weren't out there long, it was more about the experience of getting out there, but while there, I grabbed a few photographs, and then we worked our way back across the mountains on that dirt road, back to Highway 1, and then we continued on back to the bay. Cameras like this do a great job of connecting us to story. The neo-retro design of the Nikon Zf and the actual retro design of the L35AF, they just do a fantastic job of providing that aesthetic that connects us to the stories of the things that we're photographing. To me, that design is 100% the appeal of using cameras like this. And that's why, as I send this one back to Nikon this week, getting super sad about it, I'm gonna go out soon and just buy my own. I bought my own lens for this camera because I knew I was gonna keep this one at some point. So while I'm grateful that Nikon loaned me this camera for the summer, now I get to go be a customer. So I hope that you enjoyed the photos from this trip and the experiences that I've had using these cameras. I'd love to hear your thoughts about these Nikon cameras, so be sure to drop a comment and let me know what you think below. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.